This is from Mirari 15. Can we sort spells for costly material components? That's a really good good idea that I remember discussing this in year one, and it's been on our list for some time, and we just haven't prioritized it because we haven't gotten a lot of questions about it. But I do think that that is very doable and something that we can certainly look at making happen. Murgon, will the creatures from the new summoning spells be added in as monsters so they can be incorporated into the encounter builder as members of the player's party? That is something that we'll be looking at handling the best way possible. Yeah. If I'm not mistaken, there's some scaling going on with those summoned creatures that we're probably not able to cover out of the box yet, but that's something we'll be looking to figure out the best solution for and getting that in place as well. A tiny puppy 9. I like that one. Will we get sidekick pseudo character sheets to use? I think now that we are seeing the full system for sidekick characters, I think that it is very likely that we will figure out a way to make that happen in the future, particularly since we're seeing that sidekick classes are being presented as potential simplified character options. And I'll be perfectly honest with the expert, for instance. I would be almost willing to play an expert by itself because I like the help action interaction that sidekick class provides, and so I imagine that is something that we will offer in the future. We'll keep you posted. Lord Garthon, what subclass and what overall feature from Tasha's are you most excited for? Yeah, I that's a tough one because I like a lot of the subclasses I'm very excited for. I think I saw this question last week and I said that I could possibly see myself actually playing a ranger now. So yeah, that's one of those. I do like a lot of how it brings that in line. I like the two new sorcerer subclasses. I adore psionics, while also admitting that possibly no edition has ever handled it incredibly great. But I do like the addition of some of these psionic flavored options in the book here too. So that's probably Aberrant Mind, Cyanite, some of that. I was playing with some friends. We were playing recently a version of Marvel characters using 5th edition. It's not the best fit in the world, but so a lot of hand waving going there. But I used a lot of the new fighting style options to pull off a Captain America build that was really fun. And then I ended up, we were doing a Bat Family and DC flavored version of that pretty recently as well. And I was playing the character of Grifter, which some of you might not know who that is, but gunslinging, telekinetic, telepathic superhero. And I used a Cyanite for that, and it worked really, really well. It was a ton of fun. So big fan of psionics and the addition of some of those flavored options. Obviously, the book is not overtly presenting those as psionic, but yeah, some of those flavored options have been a lot of fun already for me. James DM, will we receive a way to create sidekick care? Oh, sorry, duplicate. Sorry. Let's see. Arizona T87. Will there be a tutorial on how to create a homebrew race with a customized origins feature? I think that is a great idea, and we will see what we can do about that. Timer Soul, how much wood would? Oh, you got me. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if woodchuck could chuck wood? I don't know. Excellent question that goes unanswered. Oh my goodness, people. Mirari 15, what barbecue sauce is best? Hard to censor at the same time as answering. So, but that question would take us the rest of the time, and I'm not going to be able to answer it. Logic Sprint 2000, y'all are still sponsoring Critical Role, right? Yeah, I mean, so we adore Critical Role, and I can't speak for them, but I believe they adore us. and we are absolutely partnering with Critical Role all the time. We're in a situation now where this second campaign for them has been going on for years, I guess, at this point. And we have been sponsoring them all along. I think in the early days, you saw that Sam would put together something for us every single week. And, Sam is a creative powerhouse, but at the same time, things can grow up, and we can grow past certain things. So we almost it was more on our side that, like, hey Sam, you don't have to say something every single week. And so we're kind of at that point right now. We're looking at new ways to freshen things up and liven things up. So it is not we are not in any shape, form, or fashion not sponsoring them. We are working with them. There are plenty of things that are going to be said. We are just giving some room for the ground to kind of fallow here, for those messages to maybe be a little more heard. So again, there is no conspiracy or any bad blood or anything. We love Critical Role, they love us, and we're just trying to make sure that it doesn't get too old and stale, and we're trying some new things here or there. So please let me set that record straight. Everything is great, and we're just looking for what makes the most sense. It looks like Erudite Laureate, as the cleric, has downed our first boss, but then now has had their soul sucked out of them, siphoned out of them, and is now reincarnated in a hideous form. So good luck with the next one here too. All right, lots of questions about Thanksgiving dishes. Turkey is the king of meats. I genuinely mean that, so that's easily my favorite. Let's see. Okay, so Zek Morn J, where on the priority list is homebrew class feature variants? It is hard to say exactly where that is, but it is something that we plan to offer, and I hope that we would see that at some point next year. I know that's not telling you a lot, but that is kind of where it is at this point in time. Let's see. Cistern, aka Rendalathar, you mentioned a bit ago working toward an improved search function. Any update? No update at this point in time, but we do have the skeleton of that in the encounter builder. We've had some search improvements there. Anywhere where new systems will incorporate search, we'll start incorporating that, and we just got to go retrofit some of the other places like global search on the site. So no update, but we have been making some had made some progress with some of those newer systems, but we've got to figure out when we can roadmap that in to go and retrofit the rest of it. I will answer this one. Aaron Lore, as an American, we have Thanksgiving coming up. Will the team have that day off? The team will absolutely have that day off. And so I'll use this opportunity to share that don't really expect much going on from us the Wednesday before or the weekend following. There's not a lot going on. So Black Friday and all of those things, you should not expect anything going on for any of those days. We're letting our team have that time off to spend with friends and family if they're able to, Zoom calls with those individuals if they're not. Black Friday has never been a big thing around here, but Cyber Monday has been a pretty big deal for the last several years on D&D Beyond. So I would certainly not be looking for anything coming from our team or from D&D Beyond on Black Friday or whatever they call the Saturday and Sunday in between those things. But keep your eyes peeled for Cyber Monday, because it is probably going to be, potentially the biggest sale of the year. So keep that one, keep that date cleared if you're wanting to load up on some goodness on Cyber Monday. Let's see, Lord Garthon, with Twilight Cleric out, is dark mode and light mode distinction now a thing? Not quite yet. You fooled me with the Twilight Cleric part of that, and you made me click on a dark mode question. So we don't have any updates on any of those things yet. DM Anvil, what can we as a community do to help you guys get to the backlog of items in your board while keeping up with new requests from Wizards of the Coast? There's not really anything the community can do, other than, if you have talents and skills that are applicable to the open job roles that we have there. So you can certainly keep an eye out for that. But no, it's just, there are many factors that go into all of this, and we're doing the best that we can to funnel these into the places where we can, have the most impact and be the most effective. But there are many moving parts, and again, like, this was a Herculean lift with what's going on with Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Very proud that the team has been able to do what they have been able to do in a very short amount of time. Let's see. Um, Artemis Themp, I presume the custom skill lineage, but do we have a date for when it will be ready? So those things are listed as fast follows. So the team's working on it now. We'll provide more details once we have it. All right. So a sea of dark mode questions that everyone's making very festive with tying them to holidays. Let's see. Joey Castaldo, can we get an option to customize the character's race name on the character sheet? I think that's a great idea, and that's something that we would probably add as part of the. So you can do this with homebrewing at the moment. You can make a copy of a race and then change the name through that means. But just overriding a label might be something we provide in the future, particularly when we get into custom lineage, like Tasha's talks about. Let's see. Abyssin 13, what is the thing you most wish you could have finished getting D&D Beyond ready for Tasha's that isn't done yet? I guess it would be sidekicks, because to be honest, the most important things for me in that book have been done at this point in time. And, thankfully, I think that that seems to be true for many out there, because we had to make some prioritization decisions, and then obviously we were working with what we had available to work with, but the sidekicks weren't sure that those were going to be fleshed out to the degree that they are, and I am excited to see us be able to implement that over time, because I think those add a good bit to the game. Chase's Acolyte 21. What is the Beyond team's honest opinion of Tasha's? What do you wish they had changed, done different? I definitely can't speak for the whole team here. So if you ask, the 30 developers that we have, it's probably going to be to run the gamut on the opinions here. But speaking for myself, what I would say is, probably the thing that I wish could be a little different is I believe that the couple of new sorcerer subclasses are not really aligned with what's come before. And I wish that Tasha's had introduced some ways for those older sorcerer subclasses to share in the love that the new ones have provided for the game. So that again, that's opinions are my own, and not any other indication of the team there. But that's probably what I would personally say. Call sign Chaos 69. I've played with the mobile app dice roll, and I've noticed that it is rolling low. Has that been looked into? Yeah, it's should I tell him or her? Should I tell them? That's just some bad luck. Sorry about that. But nothing has changed between mobile and desktop. It's the same algorithm. It's the same math. It's the same physics. So I'm sorry that that's been going badly for you, but that random number generation can sometimes be a bear. So sorry about that. Good luck in your future roles. Kale the Adventurer, as someone who is currently running two campaigns, I would greatly appreciate the ability to have folders for the many encounters I make in the fancy encounter builder. Is that feature on the roadmap at all? You think the encounter builder is fancy? Thank you. But yeah, fancy folders to go with a fancy encounter builder is a great idea. Haven't gotten to it yet, but it's on the list. Let's see, lots of duplicates. Sorry, trying to parse this on the fly. Uh, let's see, Freya Maluk. Do you guys plan at some point to add page numbers? Sage advice and errata work mostly on page numbers, and it makes it kind of hard to identify the precise passage it's mentioned. We've talked about this before. Truthfully, some of the difficulty here would be just making sure that the UI and the experience around that makes enough sense, since we are not remotely close to a book in the way that the information is presented. So I think there are options here, and we have talked about it before, but it is not one of our highest priorities at this point. Oh, that looks like a critical hit. Very well done with that guiding bolt. Grog the Smart. All right. Let's see. Kex 210. Will there be a way to customize campaign rules? For example, forbid a specific race, shared home screen settings, and stuff like that. That is something that we have on our list, and we will be kind of refactoring the way that campaigns work on D&D Beyond in the future anyway, and those would be the times where we could take that opportunity to take a look at those elements. All right, let's see. Luigi Green 84. Does the Primal Beast companion optional feature included in the work in progress stuff? Still hasn't appeared for me yet. Sorry, I don't know if that's something for an optional class feature for the Ranger. I haven't looked at that specifically, so I'm probably missing the specific rule that you're talking about here. But hopefully, somebody can help you in our forums on Discord. Somebody can possibly lead you to a viable workaround in the meantime, or at least get more details about the specific thing that you're talking about. We can look into addressing that. ZXDM. Hi, Adam. Combat Tracker, my favorite tool. Any updates to share on this? Adding enemies mid combat is top of my wish list. No updates yet, but we are starting to turn the Eye of Sauron back to the combat tracker a little bit as we head into next year. And I think your suggestion about adding enemies mid combat is certainly on our list, and something that we know is something that we would want to do. So we'll see how that goes. Looks like we've got a couple of minutes, and the reincarnated abomination is still standing. So hopefully it's going to go well for everyone out there. Hammerfall 5e. Why would you have fiber and then limit it by using Wi-Fi? That is an excellent question, of which I think I have a pretty practical response to. My office studio is about as far away as you can imagine from where all of my internet is set up in my home. So, given that the aforementioned hundreds of feet of Ethernet cable, that is what's going to have to happen. And I've been dreading it, not quite looking forward to it, but I'm kind of finally at the point where it's probably going to happen in the next week or so. So hopefully all that's going to be fixed. And I'm sure that in chat, a lot of people who do wonderful work in the IT industry are probably going to give all kinds of pointers for me that I appreciate you trying to be helpful, but it's not going to be helpful because I don't understand any of it. So I'm going to do the best I can to get a wire from where my internet is to where I'm sitting in this studio, and I've been told that's going to fix it. So that's the route we're going to take. All right. Looks like we're very, very close, but we're out of time. But you know what? I'm feeling very generous for everyone today. So, Will, are you able to stay for a minute or two? Okay. We're gonna stay around for just a little while longer. I'm gonna answer maybe 3 or 4 more questions, and we'll see if you're all able to pull this out today. I'm feeling very generous. It's getting up on some of the holidays here in the US, and I'm feeling very generous today. So let's see what happens. All right. But if you whiff, 10 times in a row or something, I ain't staying that long. All right, Druidic 101 is the primal beast for Rangers yet implemented. Sorry, that's probably a duplicate too. I'm not specifically sure on that one right there because that is not a version of the Ranger that I would probably ever play. So sorry if you like that, but that's not me, and I don't remember how that one works. Saber Runner, are you still thinking about the ability to annotate compendium pages? Yes, that is something that we're playing around with Cortex on the other side of Fandom Tabletop. One of the things that we're doing is we're playing around with that, and I think that once we figure that out there, that's something we would take a look at for D&D Beyond as well. The Abyssal Chicken, do you plan to add Theros character creation options, supernatural gifts, piety, and so on? Yes, that is something we plan to take. It looks like our reincarnated abomination is on a sliver of health. So you might do it before the next last question. But we do plan to add these things, and that general feature system that I alluded to earlier is a big part of how that would happen. So we do hope to allow for that in the future. All right, you all did it. And congratulations, Brannock the Bear. I think that that is about the third time I've said the word bear in today's update. So I kind of love that I have been able to say one of the best words in our language that many times. So thank you all for that opportunity. I'm going to answer one more question while everybody is doing all of the giveaway things in chat right there, but be sure to type, it looks like exclamation point, thanks Will, because Will stayed a couple extra minutes here. Our producer who does a great job. And this right here, get all of your entries in ASAP. And then we're going to probably close out once I see the giveaway go down here today. Let's see. Will Robbie, any chance we can create okay, sorry. Duplicate there. I'll pick a better one. Sorry, lots of specific ones here. Tyrannous Storm, will Monk's dedicated weapon feature have a toggle on the character sheet like Hexblade's Hex weapon? I think that that is a great idea and something that we can look into, and something we haven't decided how we will handle quite yet. So that will be part of the consideration for sure. Angel Warrior 100, when equipping a spell wrought tattoo, is there any possibility to add the specific spell to the spell list? That is something that we would look into for sure, and something that when we are able to get to a point where we can do things like label scrolls and those kinds of elements, I imagine that something like this tattoo would be covered with the functionality that we would have there. All right, it looks like maybe we have a winner, and I do have some places that I need to run to. So I will apologize for my next meeting that this ran over just a little while longer because I wanted to make sure everybody downed the boss. I'm sure that everybody's going to understand exactly what that means. So I appreciate everyone joining us today. I will not be here next week because we've got that Thanksgiving holiday here in the US that I'm going to be enjoying with my family. If you are celebrating that, I hope that you all have a wonderful one as well. And we will see you back on the next dev update, which I guess is like starting to get into December at that point in time. So we'll see you back in a couple of weeks. Hope everyone has a great week. Later, Gators.
Tasha's Cauldron of Everything is available now on D&D Beyond. Purchase before January 5th to unlock the Cauldron dice set, as well as character sheet backdrops, themes and frames.